Well, then why am I wearing a
California.
vest?
I don't know, because it's gonna be 80-something degrees at the
Right.
beach. So, and all last week was spring break, so the kids were on the beach a lot.
I'm
And,
checking
yeah.
out. Streaming is
So
perfect
I think
today.
it looks like
Technology is perfect.
the summer is here.
The summer is here.
Yes.
Yes.
So today we have a really interesting topic, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. So here is what's happening with Blake and Diana and our personal brand.
Oh, you can tell the truth about us again?
Well, no, it's not just true. So I think we have a momentum here right now that we feel like we are kind of exhausted or a personal kind of referral database, meaning that many families and friends and their referrals kind of bought, sold, whatever in the last few years. And I just feel like there is a tapering happening. Obviously, the market is crazy high. I never thought it's gonna be this high.
Crazy.
Ever.
Right.
And now the rates are even lower. So it's I don't know what's happening in this world, but to me it's like insanity. But
So the meat today.
The meat of the topic today, because it's gonna be a quick one, is lead generation. So, in a nutshell, I just want to
I'm calling it lead panic.
Lead panic, yes.
Lead panic.
Generation marketing services. So we are in the hunt, Blake and Diana, in the hunt for a service.
Correct.
For lead generation, because here is what's happening on top of everything else. We never believed in Zillow, and honestly, I refuse the Zillow pass, and I'm maybe one of those stupid, dumbest agents. Yeah, but still, the principle of things, certain things in life, it just doesn't click with you. And it just never clicked.
Wait.
And
the reason it didn't click is at a principle I didn't like. You liked it. I hated Zillow.
And I never liked it. To me, the Zillow is like the bleh.
Exactly.
So,
but
anyway,
we've been hurt by not stepping up.
Exactly. And what I'm seeing now is all those agents who kind of stick with Zillow. And here is the thing. Zillow so it's not the idea of Zillow buying the leads and overbidding for the leads and the market. And, you can go up to $10,000, $15,000. It's a bidding war. But the key, but obviously those agents who kind of done this in the last, 5-something years, and I can name many, they collected many reviews, and the review count is actually makes those agents on Zillow now superstar. And so unfortunately we missed on that.
Right.
We can't catch up with 600-something reviews for some agents, and yeah, so that's why we are in a little bit of a panic mode.
Right, so let's take a big picture, 10,000-foot view. So most of our business, and most realtors, the business is driven by referral-based business, right? It's friends of friends, family, driving the business. And that's probably, for the average agent, 80+%, maybe even 90% of the business is referral-based. But we allow all this noise to come to us about lead generation and phone calling and all this stuff to capture new clients.
And I'm sure,
panic, right?
The honest truth, and I think we can talk about this for a long time, but so the last 5-7 years, the market went up crazy high.
Right.
So which attractive, obviously, a lot of foreign investors, a lot of foreign buyers, because people who really do work for the money, they're not moving every year.
Right.
And, it takes time to accumulate, equity and then move to the next step.
Right.
And you can only have so many friends. You can only have so many, referrals, right? But on top of it, there are tremendous amount of agents got into the business. So it's just like, what we talked about last week with Compass. Compass is diluting the brand, your personal brand. They diluted, honestly, that's the truth is, all the new agents, the market, right?
Right. So
that's also the honest truth is that there are so many agents right now.
Well, there's two parts to this. One is you just need to do. You need doing something, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
Whether you're working your referral base with the Brian Buffini system, or you're cold calling, which you shouldn't be doing very much of, or you're doing Zillow, I don't care. You need to be doing something, and you need to live it. And it can't be a 3-month trial. You need to exhaust it. And so lead generation, I think, is more than a tool. It's a lifestyle.
And what we come to realize, so that's also kind of came to this whole kind of shenanigan,
right.
is that when I do research Hermosa Beach real estate, Hermosa Beach homes, like the basic keywords in Google, we not coming on the top, 5 search. And even though we are based in Hermosa Beach,
if you're not first page, you don't exist.
And we do a lot of SEOs, but clearly we're not doing it right. I mean, we can't. So the SEO is a whole new thing. It's like it's a full-time job, honestly, to really
It's a moving target and a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
Right.
So it's really kind of frustrating.
But that goes back to the balance we have is we're real estate agents. Our job is to sell and market real estate. It's not to be an expert in SEO. It's not to be an expert in database development or website development.
Right.
Or video development. Our job is to sell real estate.
Well, we create our own content because we love doing it.
That we happen to love doing it. But overall, as agents, our job is to sell and try and find the experts that help us sell.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's why we are on the hunt. So going back to the actual topic for today's speech.
The hunt for Red October.
The hunt for Red October. The hunt for lead generation kind of company program who do the back end, and we don't have to do this every second of our life, right? So
and there's hundreds of people who provide.
Oh my God!
It's
so now that we digged into ourselves into this in the last few weeks, I'm overwhelmed. I'm actually so overwhelmed that I can see some like Friday I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
But today I might. So that's why this topic is great picture. For us to vent a little bit.
So we're venting and we're sharing our own journey with you.
Yes, because I'm sure if you're really doing
the 14 of you looking at us right now,
I'm sure that if you do this business seriously, you're gonna be in the same shoes, or you're being in the same shoes, or you're just getting into it. So,
right. But the thing we're gonna advise you against doing is a lot of agents panic. And they go right to Zillow, and they'll spend $500 or
Zillow is out. I mean, we're not
game is
going.
over.
And on top of it, they changed their whole structure, whatever. I don't know. I don't even care.
Right.
So,
but they're the one that's on everyone's radar, and they say, "Oh, all this advertising in Zillow, it's ineffective." I think I've been wrong, so it's one man's opinion.
Well, it's ineffective if you start today, I think. You should have been doing it for 5-7 years, building up the reviews.
Right.
Yeah, okay, but let's not talk about Zillow.
Okay, yeah, so Zillow's off our radar.
So the whole thing came about also, we use a great tool called Follow Up Boss.
So we love as our CRM, and that's a whole different conversation that we don't really want to go too deep into because there's also 300 providers of CRM tools. So the tool that we have focused on finally and that we've used for years is Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss is a very good tool for keeping us on target, reminding us who we haven't spoken to, and doing drip campaigns that are automated that, again, help us keep in contact with our clients, because the goal here is communication. Right?
Yes, and also what's great about Follow Up Boss is actually you can see that the client opened up the email, what was the response, it got received, and all these kind of things you can kind of use with Follow Up Boss.
Right.
But Follow Up Boss, the key to also Follow Up Boss. So we built this amazing website. If you guys go on peer-to-peerbrokers.com, it's fantastic. I'm so in love with it. But it's a Squarespace-based website, and Follow Up Boss kind of really nicely integrates with Squarespace, as well as
some of the tools.
Some of the tools.
Right.
So the key to it is obviously when you have 2, 3, 4 kind of systems, you want to kind of integrate it together.
Right. So the important thing here is
that's really important in your search.
Right. But we are differentiating 100% between CRM and lead generation.
Right.
CRM can be used for lead generation.
What we're coming up with in our research, right?
Right.
Because that's what kind of
speak to me, baby.
Insanity was on Friday. Is that because all this comes, so okay, Follow Up Boss, if you go Follow Up Boss and you use Follow Up Boss, they list pretty much the entire inventory of companies for lead generation. So I kind of went in and I called up about 5-10 of them, or went to their website and do a demo and do some real research. And what I really come up with is, it's really interesting that, to me, Zillow kind of won the search for.
We thought.
But it's maybe not the case. And I'm really kind of surprised to hear that most of these lead generation tools that you can kind of find in today's market, they're basing the leads
on search.
On search, and IDEX that. They create the website, separate URL, or they kind of use your current website with their IDEX search.
Right.
So that was kind of an interesting phenomenon.
Right. So what we always keep coming back to is if you utilize a lot of these services, you end up in a template-based environment where your site is almost identical to the next player's site, and you look the same as everybody else. And that's okay, but it doesn't help you stand out with your own brand. Right.
So for us, that was always a big problem, that I never wanted to look like next door neighbor agent.
Right.
So, and I always wanted to have a unique kind of feel and vibe. But I know it's hard to manage. So we also have a full-time assistant who is managing everything. And if you create your own content, your own videos, your own type of different kind of social media content, then it's really important, obviously, to have a unique website that you can integrate, your social media with your website. So we come up with a few kind of companies that look interesting, and I think if you are in
your pen and paper ready, we're telling you our secrets.
Well, it's not secret; it's just kind of what's happening now.
So we're baking a new cake called the lead cake.
Yeah.
And these are the ingredients that we are going to use after our painful research.
Yes.
And going down, we really looked at about 200 different products. We've looked at so many different ways. So many.
But
including just buying leads, which also is horrible.
Oh my God, yeah, I signed up with some inbox lead, whatever, leads, inbox lead,
we've been barraged.
Well, yeah, they're looking for $150,000 in
South
Redondo
Bay,
Beach.
Yeah. So that's what we're getting. Okay. We're getting people from out of the state.
That's half of your down payment.
Who think, one guy came in looking for South Redondo homes starting at $600,000.
Yeah. So anything that you can buy, physically you buy, I don't think it actually works. What could work, and what we, realizing is that you need to hire a company who do a great job on either Google or on social media advertising and driving people to your kind of search IDEX website that potentially is integrated to your current website.
Right.
And looking at the behavior of that person who is kind of searching and cruising your website, and then hook them up with more and more targeted ads.
Right.
Capture, artificial intelligence, capturing, the email address, numbers, and all this stuff, then putting it into a CRM system.
Right.
That in our case has to be integrated with Follow-Up Boss. And then there you go. And then see, follow, and hopefully nurture and make connection.
So one of the things,
but physically buying leads is not working.
Right. But one of the things that I've always hated in Facebook, for example, is they know everything about you. Right?
Yeah, but that's what life is.
But now that we're applying it to real estate, I love it.
There you go.
Now that it applies to our business, and the way this is working today, utilizing. When you go on, whether it's Netflix or Facebook or Instagram, those companies track every movement you do. They know everything you've looked at, how long you looked at it, where your mouse was. That information tells them how likely you are as a consumer to do something. And for real estate, they kind of start knowing pretty quickly if you're going to be buying a trailer or if you're going to be buying a mansion, if you're going to be buying in Malibu or Redondo Beach.
Oh, 100%. And so then they start, it's just like you go on Amazon and you're looking at Game of Thrones, whatever, or Netflix.
Is that like Game of Thrones?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then they start targeting you with those ads and those
right,
stuff.
They can predict what you're looking at ahead of time. They know based on your search.
But
so these are the tools today that work. The tools that we're looking at are tools that will take advantage of that.
But not too many. So at the end of the day, so that's why I think it's interesting in this conversation, because at the end of the day, most of these companies look the same, feel the same, offer kind of the same.
And their messaging, their marketing is all identical. They're all the best.
But the end of the day, just very few can do really the AI and all this kind of social media. There's only one. Right. So let me talk to you.
There's only one obvious one to us.
Right. And then let me kind of spell out the companies that kind of came across our radar, and it could be interesting for you to kind of check on.
Do your own research, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's the reality. Nothing is perfect for everybody. What appeals to us may not appeal to you. You need to do your own research. We're only telling you what we have come to based on, our approach to things and what we think about these services.
So one of the companies...
What's important, we hate being sold to. So most of the companies we contacted and did the promo of their product. They were selling so hard. If I give you this price today, it was car salesmanship 101, which to me was a turnoff. I wanted to get a feel for the product, and I didn't want to be sold to.
Yes. So the first three companies which I'm going to talk to you about, they kind of, at the end of the day, be very similar. They kind of offer the same thing, meaning that they're creating an IDEX website. It's not integrated to your website. It's a separate website, which is kind of, they call it abandoned website, which is just an IDEX. But then I still don't understand if it's abandoned website and they're promoting the URL because that's all they do, the Google ads, then how am my name is going to be up? So anyway, you need to really find a good URL. But the one, so the number one, for instance, is Rocket Agent, based in Las Vegas, Las Vegas.
Right.
So the startup fee is about $550 for the CRM services, meaning that the IDX and the CRM services, and then the monthly rebuild.
So that's rocketagent.org, right?
Yes, rocketagent.org.
Which is not the one we're going with, but
we're not going with this.
It kind of caught our attention a little bit.
It's kind of caught our attention, yeah, because they look pretty nice.
Right.
It kind of makes sense what they do, but the problem, I think, at the end of the day, with all these three kind of companies, which you're going to talk about today, is that they their IDX search is based on the person need to fill out a form, and that's what counts towards your lead.
Right.
Right.
And how often do you fill a form out, Diana?
I hate forms.
I hate forms. The average person hates filling forms out. So that's almost a roadblock to getting...
A huge roadblock.
Yeah, so everyone is now seeing over and over again, what's the value of your home? That might work, I don't know. But most people, they've seen it so often, they will no longer fill that form out.
Right. And I think when you are on my IDX site and you want to just kind of cruise around in Hermosa Beach or Redondo Beach...
Right.
I don't think people, I mean, I wouldn't fill out a form for many of these different sites. Zillow doesn't require you to fill out a form right away.
No, but some sites have the pop-up that say, okay, we've given you a taste of our site.
Yeah.
To move forward, you need to fill a form
And then
out.
I kind of move to the next site.
I go right on to the next site. Screw them. Don't force me, yeah.
So roughly, this company, the Rocket Agent, they create a CRM. They kind of look at the behavior of the person who is on your site, but then eventually they're going to fill out a form that counts towards your lead, and it's roughly, I would say, a $500-700 investment per month.
Right, and their basic premise is they can tell, they follow on a computer, not so much a mobile device, which is why we're not going with them. So they're very strong, I think, on a computer.
Oh yes,
but
that's true. That was the other one.
Right, if they see you rolling your mouse over photos and not actually clicking on the photos, they see that as being less interested. The minute you start clicking on photos and clicking around the ad or clicking around the IDX image, they think you're more interested based on their software, that the more clicking you do on a particular house, the more apt you are to be a real buyer. And
but then they still, I think they require you to fill out the form though.
They go to the form.
Yes.
But again, they don't have that same tool mobile. We know that more than half the people in the world are on mobile devices all the time.
Yes.
And much more than half, probably 75%, are using a mobile device to look at real estate.
Exactly.
So you better have a tool that works well mobile.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what people have in there.
But it's kind of a cool idea. I mean, it makes a lot of sense what they have to say and the way it works and the way they track people on their site.
Yes.
Okay.
The other one was Market Leader. Market Leader is kind of the original,
It's been around for 20 years, I think. It's been around forever.
So I talked to the guy, and he was really hard on selling me.
Hardcore sales.
Hardcore sale. He was a typical hardcore sale guy. But the interesting part is that they apparently guarantee the lead count per month. So what you pay, you have a setup fee, and then again, same thing. They do an IDX
How do you
search.
guarantee anything?
Exactly the form. You need to fill out a form. They send to you, and then you start nurturing, and they have a CRM built in that you're nurturing people, responding right away, blah, blah, blah. And then if that person, either the email address or the phone number is not good, you can claim that it's not a real lead. But so here is what he said for my market, which is a really high, obviously very competitive, saturated market.
So Southern California, Los Angeles, very expensive market to do lead generation.
So 30 leads per month, which he said I need to get in order to make any sort of kind of success in a few months. Is $2,000 a month.
And the conversion rate he was saying was what, 2%?
Most of the companies, 2 to 3% is the conversion rate. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a 6 months contract required, so it's $12,000 investment.
Right.
So if you don't generate a lead, you pretty much, because a lead would kind of pay for the whole system.
Right, but that's always people tell you. Just takes one sale.
Yes, that's what they say.
Just takes one sale for this to work out. And the problem with that is, if it were that easy, everyone would be doing this, and we'd all be making $10 million a year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, I had an opening in my market. It's very similar. The minute they come up with there's an opening in your market, it's always a warning sign. Always a warning sign. But to me, it was very similar to Zillow, though. Okay. Absolutely, the budget and the way how they do it, it's very similar to Zillow. But again, it's apparently guaranteed leads. And then the third one.
But wait, why aren't we going with that one? What
I'm not paying $2,000 for something which is an IDEX.
It's my money too, so we're not paying $2,000.
IDEX, it's form based. You have to fill out the form. They do zero social media integration, right. Zero. They cannot integrate my website, peer-to-peerbrokers.com, to their IDEX website.
Right.
So basically, I'm paying their IDEX. So think about it. That's the trick, because if you leave the company, anything you spent with them on Google or any sort of boosting search to get all those leads to your IDEX,
right.
It's gone, because once you're not having a contract, they didn't promote your personal website. They promoted their whatever URL you give them.
That's a great point.
And it's an ID. It's just like it's
Site
ridiculous. Absolutely, okay. Everything goes away if you're not keeping.
Right. So we run peer-to-peer on a Squarespace site, right?
Yes.
So we do our own development for the most part. There's a team of 3 of us, Diana, myself, and we have a marketing person who helps out, and we create our site and we put energy into it because we want it to be our site, our identity,
and your URL. So that's the key. That if you're not creating a website which is their template-based website, which I don't want that.
Right.
Then the minute you're not going with that company,
right,
it's gone.
And here's the other challenge: integrating IDEX into Squarespace is few and far between.
Yes.
There are very few companies. In fact, we've never found one until now that actually builds their template sites for if you want to buy one on Squarespace.
Exactly.
So we're excited beyond belief that we're going to be able to integrate a quality IDEX solution into our Squarespace site.
But before we go to that company, one more company kind of caught our eye because it's one of our big competitors using it here, and also one of our agents used it. And actually the template-based company, the template looks pretty nice and modern. So if you want something a little different and unique, I think it's a pretty nice
so Real Geeks,
template.
Right?
Also, Real Geeks is the...
super popular. People, overall, very good things to say about it. Good reviews.
And their pricing is pretty competitive, and actually probably the cheapest one out of all of these. And they actually demonstrate the competitor and versus them. So you need to spend $549 for the IDEX lead capture, and then on top of it, they spent $400 for Google Ads. So that's kind of here the key is that they spend $400 worth of Google AdWords.
Right, but your monthly hit is $1,000 almost.
Yes, right? So the grand total is $949 versus it says the competitor is about $2,000, which we know that it's going to be.
And also these are starter numbers. You can go as high as you want.
Right, but this is just the basic.
Right, basic packages, right?
Yeah.
But again, Real Geeks, super popular. They make nice sites. I know that we had an agent in-house who liked it a lot, but there were issues with performance and accessibility. They were having some kind of growing pains. So he left the company. He left Real Geeks. Yeah. But it wasn't based on what they offered wasn't great. It was based on they weren't able to, their sites weren't up and running somehow.
I see. Yeah, so the companies we talked about, just for summary, is Rocket Agent, based in Las Vegas, market leader.
Right.
Then Real Geeks. And then the fourth, which we probably are interested in the most, and it looks the most compelling to us, the way how we run our life and our business, is called YLopo. YLopo. They're based in Santa Monica. And what's really cool about them, the budget is roughly the same. It starts in the $1,000 monthly range. Plus the setup fee, the bare minimum.
Right.
Plus the setup fee, you can go up probably $1,500 to $2,000 per month,
or more, yeah.
Or more. But the key to this company, and that's what kind of caught our eye, and what makes it very interesting, for several ways, is that they basing their site on Squarespace. So the IDEX template or the IDEX search is gonna be kind of
fully integrated easily.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell about this.
No, that's the important thing. We've been able to force IDEX onto our site, and it's never been complete because it wasn't totally compatible with Squarespace. So it was always the best way to express it is kludgy, which is a software expression, right? So it's a kludgy way to do it. So now we have a solution that's available to us that actually is designed for Squarespace.
Yeah.
And that's amazing to us. The other part that we love, it also integrates 100% with Follow Up Boss. So our database of Follow Up Boss becomes the CRM for Ylopo.
Meaning that if you capture a lead, it's going to be in our Follow Up Boss system, which obviously we pay separately, but it's our leads. It's not living on their CRM, because that's, to me, it's a gain. I don't want their IDEX. If I leave the I don't want that, then I don't want their CRM to own it. They own your CRM, and I don't want that.
And just for the record, Follow Up Boss runs about $100 per seat, roughly.
Right.
Okay, so if you have a team, figure about $100 per seat.
Right. And then one more is the social media component.
They have excellent integration with social media, with the three ones that we care about. There's only three. We care about Instagram and Facebook, and we care about Google pay-per-clicks, right?
Yeah, these are the three things we live on. So here is the thing. In our market, I think in the South Bay, very few top agents do a great job on social media, which is kind of surprising, believe it or not. I'm shockingly surprised. Right. But I kind of get it. I mean, they are kind of doing this for a long time, and I think their referral base is probably based on
they're busy.
Their square mile radius friends.
Right.
But I think if I want to capture new people who are moving into the area, or kind of new buyers and sellers, millennials, new generation, and you need to looking at it for the long haul, and where technology is going to take the industry. And it's definitely Facebook, Instagram, social media, artificial intelligence, search, online. Right.
But they're doing the same thing. So Ylopo is doing that same idea that the Facebook does. Right. They're tracking everything about your movements on the site. They track what you click on. They know if you're looking at real estate, which ads drew your attention. So they know as much about you as you know about you. So they're able to target the ads and remarket the ads based on what you've looked on in the past.
Exactly.
So the ads are always evolving over time. So it's sort of artificial intelligence, right? Mm-hmm. The ads are evolving over time based on how you've searched. So they are not static ads that you would just produce an ad and say, here's my ad to go out on Facebook.
Exactly.
The ads are always being repurposed and directed to the individual.
Exactly. And this is what we cannot personally, physically do on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, we do a really good job. No, we do a really good job what we could possibly do, but I can't spend hours finding keywords and then target certain ads for that keywords and the key search, kind of.
And the rules are always changing. It's not our job to, every 6 months, the rules change.
Yeah.
And we can't keep up with it. And again, our job is to sell real estate. That's all of our jobs. Sell real estate.
Exactly. Right. And I think definitely by going on the social media route and online search route, it's an interesting proposition, because I think people who have a lot of money, they are more likely in their 40s or 50s.
Right.
If not older, right?
You're about home buyers or sellers or agents.
And so because the millennials are kind of hitting kind of a ground of, limited funds to purchase in Southern California. And those are the people who are online. So the question is whether, is it today, today, is it going to be a huge difference?
I didn't tell you, I have an idea I want to share with you guys now. I'm going to patent this. So it's my patent.
Okay.
We want to do fractional sales where parents can sell a portion of their home to their millennial child who can't afford to buy a home.
Yeah.
So, and we want to be part of that. We're going to help them buy that fractional component of the home they grew up in. So, for example, the basement's for sale to the family member, right? So the kid's going to buy it. We're going to make $1 million at this.
I'm so obsessed, but that's a whole different topic about ADU units. Los Angeles have just passed the law. Fantastic law. So anyway, so Ylopo is definitely for us, looks like could be a good choice.
Right, the starter fees there, they start in there's different kinds of choices, roughly $1,000 plus whatever you decide to spend on ads, right?
Yeah.
But $1,000 to $1,500 is a good starting place to try it out. Now, the key to all of these services is nothing works day one, nothing works day two. You could be lucky, but overall, you're looking at 3, 6, maybe even 9 to 12 months before you have any return on this investment.
Exactly. But I think definitely at the end of the day, you need to find and it's gonna click with you once you start kind of talking to them and do their demo. Whatever works for you. Like if you are really crazy cool on social media content and you constantly on social media, then you clearly need to find a company who is integrated with social media.
Right.
If not, that's not your case, you kind of, the local kind of IDEX search kind of person, then you need to go a different route. Right. If you want to have Google AdWords mainly spent on, then that's kind of real geeks.
Right. And then you should, we're at the school. There's so many different places you can put your name for referral services, right? Do it everywhere you can. What do you care if it costs you 35% of a sale to get some referral business?
Oh yes, there are many sites like that, but I think those are not really. I signed up with them.
Yeah, if you get a deal a year or something, and you pay the 35%, it's business, and you try and work it towards more business.
Yeah.
But the point is, don't stay static. You haven't solved the problem. It's a temporary solution, right?
Exactly.
This is today's solution that we think is great, and we hope the company evolves with the market. Ylopo we're talking about, and Follow Up Boss for that matter. And we hope that we don't jump off to the next technology that looks cool. So the goal here is that, to our mind, an LA-based company is going to technology.
I think that's really important for us.
So that I'm also weird. I also have a thing about I don't like doing business with companies in Florida. Sorry, Florida. And it's just a weird thing. I don't think there's a lot of technology in Florida for some reason. I think if you're going to deal with smart tech people, they're probably in California or New York.
Yeah.
And please don't barrage me with hate over this.
Or maybe Seattle. I think market leaders are in
West
Seattle.
Coast, right?
Yeah.
West Coast. And the idea that Ylopo is primarily based in LA, I think they have access to really smart people, good talent.
And I think they probably most likely understand the market, the super duper competitive market, saturated market. And we only gonna tell in a few months once you kind of
so we're gonna do a follow up on this probably 3 to 4 months down the road.
Yeah.
It takes time to get the sites and integration up and running. Probably 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah,
patience is the key.
But we'll launch all of the tools probably in the next, May 1st is kind of the goal, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's kind of our topic for the day.
Yeah, so that was kind of our interesting topic, and I think if you really kind of listen to it again and again and get the key websites, then and if that's kind of the struggle you are in, then I think it's a great help for you. So follow us, watch us, hear us, read us, and see you next week.
Wait, I want to say one final thing. Whatever we're doing is working, because not a day goes by that we don't run into somebody in the South Bay who says, "Oh, I saw your episode of whatever it was," or "I really liked what you had to say about Compass, was pretty popular last week." And so continue, please spread the word. We love doing this.
Up the world.
Yeah, we'd love to have a larger audience, but clearly we're doing something right because people are actually spotting us.
Yeah, because I think we just kind of vent. This is our venting outlet, and I love that. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.